Bermuda was early in your career. You
Yeah,
find
yeah.
yourself back here after a pretty rough season by standards
yeah.
through injury and so on. Was this meant to be here? Were you meant to be? Was it always
Yeah.
on your plan to make a comeback here?
Yeah.
Why do you come back here? Why have you come back and picked this championship?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, bottom line, this is still a PGA Tour event, and every PGA Tour event that I play in is an honor, and I don't take it for granted. And a lot of people ask me why I'm here this week, because I'm exempt next year and don't need to try to get in the top 100 or anything like that. But again, it's just a place that have a lot of good memories of, and I feel like my game is starting to get in a good place, and just wanted to get more competitive reps. And a big thing I've been struggling with the last few tournaments is just getting back into the swing of things. Like I'm maybe a little focused too much on my mechanics and my swing and how my stroke looks and all that stuff. So I know out here that none of that stuff matters. You got to flight your ball. You have to score as much as you can. You got to get up and down from some gnarly places. So I just thought it would be a great week to just put me in a good mindset, on island time. And again, the people have been so kind to me. So it's an event that, Javon's the man. So I always told him I'd be back. Don't worry about it. You don't have to convince me too hard. So glad to be here.
Sahith, thanks for joining us. Second time playing this tournament. Can you talk a little bit about the course? Just got off your 9-hole Pro-Am.
Yeah. Actually, yesterday the Pro-Am got canceled because the winds were so high. So I was going to go play 9 right before the Pro-Am, but didn't end up doing it. So I played 18 today. Nice calmer day for sure. I think the forecast for the rest of the week is pretty windy, so that's nothing new here. I think last time I played three of the days were super windy, so we know what we're getting into when we come here. But the course is honestly designed perfectly for this wind. It's a short course, but some of the holes play so long. I mean, there's a lot of like 6-iron through 4-iron approach shots. You'll see a bunch of guys hit woods into some of the par 4s and even some of the par 3s. So it's a good fun test. And then there's other holes where you drive it right up by the green and try and get up and down for birdies. So there's a lot of variance in the scoring, which I think always makes it for a fun watch and also fun playing it. If you can play well, you can shoot a low number, but if you're not on your game and not on top of it, you can easily shoot a pretty high number. So super fun course, and this is probably the best condition I've seen in. A lot of guys kind of show that sentiment this week about the course.
A couple top 30s in your last 2 starts entering this week. How do you feel about your game? Do you think you're kind of trending upward?
Yeah, I finally feel like 100%, and I've been 100% for a few months, but I haven't gotten my speed back, and it's something that a lot of guys just told me I just got to stay patient about it. I mean, I feel great. I'm moving well in the gym, maybe stronger than ever, but just the golf speed just took a really long time to come back, and it's finally back. I think these last 2 weeks after Utah, even Utah and Japan, I drove it great and played like I felt like I should have played. So it's just good to be back, and that's what I'm using this week and next week as just this runway to kind of start the next season. Get a few more reps in. I've just felt like my season's been so broken up through a couple injuries, and but yeah, game honestly feels great. If I could just roll in a few putts, that really cost me the last few weeks, but I'm just excited to compete again this week, especially back here.
You had the oblique and neck injuries early in the year. You said you feel 100% back.
Yeah.
When did you feel 100% back, and I guess how much of a relief or confidence boost was that?
I missed quite a few events. I mean, I missed 2 majors and probably at least 2 or 3 signature events, so that was a bummer. And I kind of rushed back a little bit at the Open just because I didn't want to miss a 3rd major of the year, and I was not. I was healthy, but I just didn't play any golf. I was just in the gym, so thought maybe if I could do something special, but in hindsight, I mean, whatever. I got the clearance. I wasn't going to re-injure myself there, but I'd say I was 100% in Napa. It was probably the first time. So it's been 2 months now. I felt great. Just a lot of work with my team outside of the tournaments, which has been super fun, honestly, and just feel like I'm kind of due for a fresh start next season, which is fun. I got to play my way into everything, to the majors, to the signature events. I'm not in anything, so I'm excited for that challenge, and kind of the goal is to try and get into those signature events, and and to stay healthy. I have a good blueprint now. It was honestly my fault, so learned from that, and it was a bummer that I've been so healthy the last 5-6 years, and for my first one to be something that really affected the whole season was a bummer. But I'm pumped for next year to start.
And then Thursday, Friday, you're grouped with Rafa and Michael Brennan.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to meet Michael yet, and how familiar are you with his game?
Yeah. So it's a good question. I played with Michael today in the morning. The first 9 holes I played with him and Hunter Wolcott, who both tore it up in Canada this year, and or PGA Tour Americas, I should say. And I have a really good buddy and teammate, Derek Kitchener, that played with Michael Brennan, I think 3 or 4 times in the final group in Canada this year. And unfortunately, Michael's got the best of him every time, but Derek got his Corn Ferry card too, and he's a baller. But he just said Michael's a different breed of golfer, and I got to see that in Utah, honestly. Like, I hit balls next to him, was putting next to him. He just looks like the prototypical new generation of golfer, where the guy's hitting at 185, 190 ball speed in his sleep, and so obviously he seemed like a super nice guy as well. Like, this was my first time really getting to spend some time with him, but his game's really impressive. His swing makes it looks so easy. It looks like he's not even trying to hit it hard, and you can see the control in his golf swing, and especially at a place like Utah where I think he had a historic strokes gain off the tee week, but it's kind of it's not just a bomb and gouge kind of golf course. You got to put it in places, and clearly he was able to do that with driver, which is super impressive. And he kind of ran away with the thing. So to do that, especially after coming off what he did in PGA Tour Americas with the 3 wins, I mean, he's going to be a special player for a long time. So I think there's definitely a group of those guys, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him rattle off a bunch more wins. I think I'm excited to play with him the next couple days. And then Rafa, obviously, what a great story that was last year, and got to spend some time with him and his wife at Century this past year, and like the nicest people ever. So happy for him, and I'm excited to play with him too, and see how he kind of dissects the course. Obviously, being a past champ, he's doing a lot of things right out here. So I think it'll be a good grouping of hopefully some good vibes next couple days.
Do you see some similarities in their victories, given the unusual or unexpected circumstances?
Yeah.
Both.
I think it's an interesting thing in sports. You see it all the time when someone's back is up against the wall, or you have a little bit of an extra chip on your shoulder. I feel like you always play a little bit better, and I think I'm not so sure about Michael. I think he's obviously had such a great summer and was probably expected to do good things, but I saw something after the week, got retweeted on social media, where it's like, oh, you should fade Michael Brennan this week because his 2 previous starts on tour were terrible, and like his Corn Ferry starts were kind of a mixed bag. But I'm like, the guy's playing the best golf out of maybe anyone right now. So, maybe, I don't know if he saw that. I might ask him, but I think when you're not expected to win, and you really need to do something special, there's something in there. It's something intangible for sure. And then obviously Rafa was in a rough spot, and the birth of his child. I don't even think he was going to play the event, so I think he ended up showing up Wednesday or something. It was something crazy, but there's just some things are just out of your hands, and a week like that last year for him is definitely super, super cool and super, super special. But like I said, there's some intangibles to it, and I felt like the perspective word gets used a lot, but I'm sure with the birth of his daughter and a lot of other life things that I'm sure he's going on with, especially later on in his career, like he's just like, I need to step up and do it, and sure enough he did. And it seems like the great ones in any sport do that, so that was cool to see him do it, and I think it's breathed some new life into his career for sure. And I hope he's out here for another 10, 15 years or whatever he wants to be out here for. So definitely some similarities.
You played here one other time in 2021. Is there something specific that stands out about that week here in Bermuda?
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy week, actually. It was only my 4th or 5th PGA Tour event as a member. And my caddy Carl couldn't make it here, so I had my buddy Robbie, who's caddied for me a couple other times. He caddied for me in Canada and at a Corn Ferry event in Maine, so we're really good buddies. So had him caddy for me this week, and I ended up getting paired up with Michael Simsy, who's a local legend, really good, incredible mini tour player, one of the nicest guys out here. He works as an agent now, so I see him all the time as well. And then Brian Morris, who another absolute legend, especially in the golf world in Bermuda. I think anybody who's related to golf in Bermuda has some sort of story or some sort of help from Brian to reach where they were, and I know he impacted a lot of people really, really well, but fortunately, he actually had, I think when he got the spot, he had terminal cancer. So yeah, it was a bummer, but like his attitude and just how he dealt with it was, I've never seen anything like it. He was not going to back down to it. You know, he didn't let it really affect his personality, and he was just a really kind dude and made everyone else's day a lot better. And, you know, a lot of the locals shared their stories with me 4 years ago about Brian, and, you know, his character didn't change. If anything, his character just got better and stronger once he found out he had terminal cancer. And, yeah, he's also a great player. You know, I think a lot of people on this island learned a lot from him. So it was a wild week. And then my grandfather actually died Wednesday night of this week. So it's just a lot of stuff going on. But I just took it kind of in stride. I was just happy to be here. Obviously, just got my tour card, here with one of my best friends, and just tried to make Brian's last couple of rounds, competitive rounds, as cool as it will. As cool as I could have. Half the island was out here supporting, and they were cheering for every one of my shots as well. So, yeah, I remember the first hole. He striped a little hybrid down there, hit it to 8 feet, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna do it. He ended up making par on the first hole, and definitely some other memorable shots. I don't know. He honestly played pretty well for how, obviously, the cancer was affecting his stamina and his strength, but I think he put up a couple rounds in the 80s, and he ended up outliving his prognosis by, I think, like 2 years. So it was something crazy. Like, the guy is just an absolute fighter, and again, he never let the cancer put him down. So it was a crazy special week. It's a week that I reminisce on a lot. Also, I was missing a couple, like 4 or 5 with 6 or 7 holes to go, and I birdied like 5 of my last 6 just out of nowhere. Like, and again, that's another intangible thing that I talk about. You know, my grandfather was definitely out there looking out for me. So I remember making birdie on my 36th hole and just throwing a fat fist pump, which I don't do a lot of that, but especially to make a cut. But yeah, it's a special week. You know, a lot of people here associated with the event still honor Brian, and Simsy actually gave me a hat. He has these 3 hearts. I think it's green, yellow, red. I forgot what order, but I wear the hat all the time, just as a reminder that just to be kind to people. That seemed to be Brian's big thing. So yeah, I think his wife's going to be here. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, he's the man, and to see all the guys that were here part of the tournament 4 years ago still talking about the positive impact he had is really cool. So it's a week I'm never going to forget. Everybody remembered my caddy's name, Robbie, from 4 years ago, which I thought was cool. I need to call him, and maybe next year I can bring him out here again. But yeah, special week, and just glad I could be back and hopefully play 4 days of good golf.
One other question on that. You yourself, were you under any pressure when you were playing with Brian? I know there was a lot of pressure around with a lot of Bermudians supporting him, obviously. But for you yourself, you acted, I know you are a professional golfer, but you were young into that part of your career. You acted so professionally, quote unquote, with the way that you let him take his limelight. And I think that's what a lot of people will remember about what you did for him as well on that. Does that stand out to you? Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of credit, but I just felt like I was thankful for the tournament for, you know, putting me in such a special moment and such a special place for not only Brian, but kind of everyone on the island that has gotten to know Brian and that he's impacted. So I know we had to talk with the rules official about, hey, if things get slowed down, like we'll try and speed it up. But I mean, I didn't really let that affect me at all. I just wanted to have a good time and make sure that Brian and Simsy had a great time, and I don't think anything was actually going to stop Brian from having a good time, no matter where he hit it, no matter how long he took, and he played fast. Give credit where credit's due. And I also got to give credit to OJ, his caddy. I mean, he kept things moving along as well. He stayed out of the way. I know he was nervous too, and you know.
Well, I think it's a testament to you that you remember, obviously, your own caddy's name, but the fact that you remember Brian and Michael so well, and you also attribute to OJ, who was caddying for Brian in that tournament. Any special moment that sticks out in your mind about Brian, a word that passed between the two of you, or something that will keep you remembering, other than the red, yellow, and and green hat?
Well, it's he said some words that I can't repeat here, but one of the statements was it just made me laugh, and he was talking about, hey man, this was like early on in the time, like I didn't know how to bring up the cancer with him, like I didn't, but at some point I was just like, I'm just gonna talk about it. He seems so chill, so good about it, and he's like, man, how's it been? Like, how's everyone treating you? Like, what's your prognosis? And he's like, shit, Sahith, like, now that I have cancer, I can say whatever the F I want, and I can do whatever I want. I can ask for something, I get stuff. So, you know, in the darkest time of his life, and I'm sure all the close ones around him, you know, he's able to still shows humorous side, and you know, never took it for granted every day that he still had alive. So there was a lot of kind of moments like that out there. I mean, he hit he whiffed a few shots, and the first thing he would put his hand around me and just give me a hug. He's like, Sahith, F this game, man. It's the worst game ever. But he'd also said multiple times that's the best game ever, and that, you know, golf has saved his life pretty much. And you know, I think he attributes a lot of his kind of just relationships that he made through golf, and why he felt like he was so lucky in his life.
Last question. I don't think we can let you go without asking about the engagement you and Judy
Yeah.
announced a few weeks ago. Can you talk a little bit about that, where you guys were, everything?
Yeah. Man, I'm glad it's over. Obviously super excited. But I'm not a planner. She literally plans everything in our relationship. I mean, where we eat, flights, whatever, booking stuff, literally does everything outside of golf in our relationship. So for me to plan this was a lot of work and a lot of stress. Thankfully, her sister and her dad helped me a lot, but kind of had to keep it a secret for over a month. Just kind of coordinating everybody was difficult. Again, her sister helped me a lot, which was huge. But still, it was like, had to keep it a secret, and like, again, it's so hard to hide a secret from her. So I think she had an idea, especially when I was like, hey, like, let's go to Hawaii between Japan and Utah. Like, we're going to have to go back to California anyway. It's like right in the middle. So I think she actually bought that. Like, I made sure to like not have her receive the emails when I booked our flights, and like when we tagged our bags in Japan, I was like don't look. I was like, we're going to Hawaii, but I'm not going to tell you what island. So she didn't know what island we were going to till we got to Honolulu and then connecting to Kauai. So it went great though. It went great. All her family was there. My parents were in India, so we FaceTimed them right after. But my brother came, and we had our closest people from both sides there, and it was a blast. But I'm glad I didn't lose the ring. Like, just traveling in Japan with the ring was, every day I was stressed. So I'm glad I didn't drop the ring in the ocean. I proposed on like a cliffside, and all I could think about was, oh my God, I'm going to drop this ring in the ocean and never find it again. So it honestly went well, and I don't know if she for sure knew or not. I think she had an idea, but she acted like she didn't. So I appreciate that a lot as well. And yeah, we had a great time. It worked out perfect. It honestly it went better than I thought it would. So that's all I can ask for.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Have you guys set a date, or are you still working that out?
Yeah, working on it. I think we're going to get a date this week, actually. She's meeting with a couple wedding planners tomorrow, sometime October next year or November. Probably in Hawaii again, but we'll see. Yeah, I think in Hawaii. So
Perfect. Congrats. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.